Stugotz here. Hi there, football fans living in apartments and big cities, sympathizing with all of you out there who want every live game every Sunday afternoon, but who can't get DirecTV where you live. Well, I have some good news for you. Now you can stream 2020 NFL Sunday Ticket on your favorite devices, no satellite required, and get every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. Go online to NFLSundayTicket.tv now to see if you are eligible. Why watch only one Sunday out-of-market game when you can watch all of them? Catch every game with NFLSundayTicket.tv. Use promo code SouthBeach2020 at checkout to save 15%. That's promo code SouthBeach2020 to save 15% at NFLSundayTicket.tv. Don't miss any of the action. Head to NFLSundayTicket.tv today.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
The telephone number for Ron Magill, if you want to talk to him, is 786-456-4837. But before we get to Ron Magill, we rudely interrupted Christine Lisi.
And finally, the average American consumes about 35 pounds of cheese every year. The average Dan Le Batard consumes 300 pounds of cheese.
Oh, I'm going to chase you through Bristol. I'm going to take a flight to Bristol and chase her down and stop this communication that keeps sending her jokes to read at my expense.
Something tells me it's coming from here. It's a waste of a flight.
Really
finally, a reason to get Dan to Bristol.
So totally inefficient flying to Bristol to chase her around when she has nothing to do with this. Thank you, Christine. Appreciate it. 786-456-4837. She doesn't even want to read them. You hear her get bashful in the middle of them each time. She does, but she doesn't. If you have any questions for Ron Magill, 786-456-4837.
This has worked out well for me with the sports centers because she's great. She's professional. They are no longer about me stumbling around with words. They are all just shots at you. Swimmingly for me.
It's been a win, as with everything Stugotz related. He's incompetent, and then he wins.
Yes!
Chris, what do you have for Ron Magill of Zoo Miami?
Okay, Ron, the medal stand for house pets. Gold is the dog, silver is the cat. What is the bronze medal house pet?
I would say probably like a cockatiel. Some of the smaller citizens, lovebirds, cockatiels. I would go with something like that.
Roy, what do you have for Ron Magill of Zoo Miami?
Ron, you obviously have this man-made wildfire in California. You also have natural wildfires in places like in Africa and whatnot. What kind of adaptations do animals have in the event these things happen?
Someone playing a flute at your house?
When did I get to Italy?
I mean, is it Italy or is it India?
Claire is playing with a toy right now.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Right.
Well, here's the bottom line. First of all, I mean, a lot of people look at fire as a disaster. In fact, it is a necessity for a lot of environments. And those environments benefit from fire. Here in South Florida, we have the pine rockland, which has to burn. And the reason that some of it gets damaged is because they try to control. They don't let it burn. We actually do controlled burns, and there are animals that have adapted to that in many ways. First of all, a lot of plants have, and that they build fire-resistant trunks so that they can take the fire on the lower part. Other animals know how to get underground and survive the fire that way, or simply just escape the fire. They have an incredible sense of smoke or fire coming to get out of the way. Now, sometimes you lose animals. That's just part of life there. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is fire is, generally speaking, very beneficial for the habitat that it usually strikes. It's a necessity to keep that habitat healthy.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Who's the bronze medal winner of pets in the animal kingdom? Is it fish or birds?
I mean, I'm telling you, if I go to someone's house and there's a bird flying around, I know they're in cages, but I have a friend who lets the bird out.
A bird flying around?
No, and it's flying around the house. It's like, I'm never coming to your house again. I don't need that in my life.
I think you just realized while telling that story, that birds were caged.
Well, perhaps, but I'm telling you, this bird
I don't believe you have a friend who's just got a bird flying around the house. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's super rude. You walk into this guy's house, and there's Mark Fidrich just flying around. It's great. What?
Taylor, you're on
Larry.
with Ron Magill. Wow. Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Taylor.
Hey, Ron. Two quick questions for you. I'm waiting forever to ask you. One, what natural predator would be best to drop in the Everglades and clean up the invasive anaconda population? And number two, do animals at the zoo who have names respond to their names, like dogs respond to their names? Thanks, Ron.
Sure. First, it's pythons in the Everglades, not anacondas. But, really the best natural predator we have for those are animals. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm just because one is a John Voight movie that makes me laugh, and the other one is pythons. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, it's python. And generally, alligators are a good predator of pythons. Now, we always hear the story about, the python that died because it ate an alligator and exploded out of its belly. But generally speaking, I think alligators come out on top more often than pythons do. Also, as pythons hatch out, those hatchlings are going to get eaten by a ton of birds, a ton of things, even raccoons and things like that. And the eggs will get fed on by things like raccoons and other lizards and things like that. So we already have predators in there to try to control these guys. It's just they breed so quickly, they reproduce so quickly, they produce so many eggs, it's just hard. I don't know what's going to happen. I personally think there's going to be some kind of natural pathogen, a disease, a virus that comes in there that's going to be species-specific and starts controlling them that way. Or we're going to have, God willing, some kind of cold front in the future. I don't know if that happens with the kind of summer we've had, but those are the best controls for those guys. And the other thing, what was the other question?
Names, animals responding to names.
Oh, yes, yeah. We do absolutely have animals here that have names, and they absolutely respond to names. And generally speaking, it's the more intelligent the animal, the more responsive it's going to be to a name. I'm not going to call a python and it's going to come slithering over to me. But having said that, you might look at an animal like a tortoise and think, well, that's not the brightest bulb in the chandelier. Well, there's a tortoise here, Goliath. He hears me call his name. He gets right up and starts walking right over to me. So animals do respond to names, and it is very common that you see it in zoos.
What is the dumbest animal that can be trained to respond?
I don't like that word. I don't like that word, Dan. What is the least intelligent? Let's say, what's the least intelligent?
I don't like it either.
What is the most idiotic animal that responds to being called by name?
I would think that the tortoises are animals that are lower on the intelligence scale, and one would not assume that they would know their name and come walking to you. But our tortoises here do. We also have crocodiles that will respond to names or sounds, so to speak. It's kind of a recall that we have. And crocodiles, you could have a 12-foot crocodile that has the brain the size of a walnut, and you would think, geez, how did that thing even know how to breathe? But the bottom line is they learn with association to survival, to food. As soon as they associate somebody with a name with food, they'll respond to it. That's they're not looking at their name like, oh, my pal Ron is there. Let me go play with him. That name being called is basically, hey, there's food. There's food coming because every time that I go. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
No, it's funny. It's great. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Did you have any idea that a crocodile would answer to a name? It's a fairly amazing thing to learn. I was laughing because of the absurdity of you going out there and then Alex, hey, Alex, get over here. And then the crocodile comes over to you. And then I also like the further thing that you suggested, which is the listener might then see you frolicking with Alex the crocodile because you just called him over to play like you would a dog.
Well, Dan, you have been with me when I call the giraffe, for instance. And other people can say, hey, and they don't do anything. They hear me call them by their name, and they come walking to me. So you've seen that. I mean,
no, you're Tarzan, dude. You are a modern-day Tarzan. I've seen the gorillas respond to you by name, the elephants.
But that's because they associate me with food, with a pleasant experience.
Right.
If the veterinarian called their name, they'd run the other way and get all upset, because they don't associate that with a pleasant experience, even though the veterinarian does much more good for them than I could ever do for them. It's just a matter of association. It's not like, I say, hey, Dan, how you doing? Hey, Ron, how you doing? They don't do that. It's not necessarily like that, but there is an association with a pleasurable experience when they hear that name.
I've seen it as well, Ron. I mean, you absolutely talk to the animals, but this is a crocodile. I don't think he has time for names, anything. It's a menacing croc.
Foods, yeah. No, that's wonderful.
I'll tell you, they come. They come. They will come. You call their name, and they will come.
Alex, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Alex.
Hello, Ron. I had a question for you. If you had to make one illegal, either recreational fishing or commercial fishing, which one would you choose and why?
What would I make illegal if I had to choose one? Wow, that's a hard one. You know, I don't think you can make commercial fishing illegal because it's so important to sustenance for so many people around the world. But having said that, if you made it illegal, then maybe there'd be a lot more recreational fishermen, and we would have a much better situation with that.
You're a real fence sitter. You're a real fence sitter, and the bridge to your
that one is tough. That one is tough for me.
But this is your bridging. This is how you sit on the fence. It's your having said that. You hit us over the head with a having said that, and then you just sit.
Neither of you are the man.
You've got a good point there, Dan. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. That's my sitting on the fence. When I say having said that, because the bottom line is, I don't know which way to go on that. I would say, listen, you know, I love fishing. I love recreational fishing. If you outlawed commercial fishing, then many people say, you know what, I got to go catch my fish now because it's not just going to arrive in the market the way I want. But then people have jobs. They might not have the ability to catch their fish, and they might be, deprived of an essential protein in their diet. You know, I'd rather them eat fish than eat beef. So the question is, no, I could. Okay, I would outlaw recreational fishing. Oh, that's going to get me in a lot of trouble.
Yes, get out of here.
Geez.
That's good talking to you. Thank you, Ron Magill. We were not going to stop until we could get you in a lot of trouble. I don't know who the hell you'd be getting in trouble with. Get out of here.
Well, are you kidding me? Recreational fishing is so important.
I know. We covered that. Having said
You'll
that,
be fine.
Get out of here.
Call me next week with something a little bit more,
Okay.
nice.
All right. See you later, Ron Magill.
We love you.
Let me go back there for a second because you may have heard in the middle of that the manly man-off in which, out of nowhere, both Ron Magill, it was well-timed, Ron Magill and I, you just stopped our stupid conversation when it should have stopped a minute earlier by accidentally hitting with your elbow the manly man-off.
Neither of you are the man.
When's the last time?
I don't remember. When was the last?
At least 6 years.
Okay.
We can all agree that this isn't your standard summer. But even though we're staying at home, we can still find time to enjoy the sunshine safely and socially distant, of course. That's where Allbirds comes in. Whether you're out with your family on a hike or grinding out that exercise routine at home, Allbirds has the perfect shoe for you. Allbirds shoes are made from premium natural materials and are beyond comfortable. The Tree Dasher, for instance, is light, durable, breathable, and designed for maximum energy return. Perfect for long walks or quick runs around the neighborhood. Allbirds shoes are also carbon neutral, thanks to sustainable practices like offsetting their carbon emissions. They list the carbon footprint on all of their products, just like nutrition labels on food, but for your closet. Their average carbon footprint per product is equal to running 5 dryer loads or driving 19 miles in a car before it's offset to zero. They're committed to lowering their impact over time and creating a more sustainable future for everyone. With Allbirds, feel confident knowing you're wearing a product that's doing right by your feet and the planet. Learn more about their sustainable practices and find your pair at allbirds.com today.
It's your apartment speaking, and I need some favors. When you're singing in the shower, just try going up a key. You're trying to be an alto when really you're a soprano. Oh, and if you could bundle your renters and car insurance with Geico, it's easy to do online and we could save money. And then when you read your murder mysteries at night, could you read out loud, but skip the murder parts because I get scared.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
If you missed any of the show, you can listen to all 3 hours of the Dan Le Batard Show, plus our Miami-only hour and the Big Suey on demand in the ESPN app. And subscribe to the Le Batard and Friends podcast network featuring South Beach Sessions, Stupidity, and Mystery Crate. Please rate and subscribe. New episodes are posted every week wherever you get your podcast. And it's time for Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless.
So in about 12 minutes or so, we will continue our week-long celebration of how terrible we are at this. Best Dismissal is the category that's coming up as we present to you basically our annual award show, the Sueys. We do this sort of crammed into this week. And for those of you who are finding it frustrating that we are only on the radio for 2 hours instead of 3 hours, I encourage you to do what Stugotz just told you to do, which is find the Big Suey. More often than not, that is just us doing more show. It's other things as well, but what you'll get today and other days is just another hour of the show looser, freer. It sounds like we don't even know we're on air.
And to further incentivize listening to the Big Suey and the post-game show and the local hour, since we've run out of show in days like today, I mean, we have a loaded show and we have one less hour nationally, those are going to be the exclusive domain of certain categories. So you're going to want to make sure to subscribe to the Le Batard Show with Stugotz feed.
We're not going to be able to there's not enough show here in 2 hours. We're crammed today. We got too many things. All of it exists to be sponsored, and so we can't really do everything over the course of the week that we want to do, but you will find it in the post-game show, and you will find it in the BS hour. I wanted to ask you, Stugotz, if you saw anything, the filming of Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. I don't know where he is, what country that is.
Norway, Dan.
That's Norway? The video coming out of Norway, I think that was Tom Cruise himself.
Of course it was.
Jumping.
Who else would it be?
Well, because what I'm about to say to you is crazy for Tom Cruise to be doing, which is what he looks like he was doing seems totally horrifying, which is that he simply, between two mountains in a giant canyon off of a half-built sort of ramp, he rode a motorcycle right over the ramp, over the canyon. The motorcycle fell to earth, and he came tumbling behind it and eventually pulled his own parachute. He does his own stunts. We're in the middle of a pandemic. He's damn near 60 years old. What the hell kind of craziness is that?
It's just another day in the life of Tom Cruise. I mean, that's really what it is. He lives between two canyons on a motorcycle in the air. I mean, that's where he lives. That's where he's most comfortable.
I can't imagine how difficult it is to ensure these Mission Impossible films because he insists on doing his own stunts. And I'm sure they're going to shoot it in a way that you'll be like, wow, that's really Tom Cruise. But really, would you think any less of him if he wasn't actually doing these stunts?
This is the thing. It's unnecessary. To me, when I found out Tom Cruise was sticking to the side of an airplane as it took off, I'm like, why would you do that? Why do you need to do that? A lot of things could go wrong. But the thing was, he lives his life. Excuse me, Billy. He lives his life in a more interesting way, braver than I am. It is not a place that I can exist.
He lives his life between two canyons in the air on a motorcycle. I just told you that.
The thing with some of these stunts, though, like the airplane one, like you can see how he gets stuck on the side of an airplane, right? And he has to ride the airplane as it takes off into the sky, and that's totally necessary. But what is a motorcycle ramp doing in between two canyons? I guess we'll have to watch the movie and figure out how that got there. But it seems like that would only serve one purpose, right?
Yeah, my guess is that there isn't a ramp in the middle of a Nordic canyon somewhere. I guess in the movie they might try to make it look like he's just riding down the side of a mountain and then just going into said canyon and then pulling the ripcord.
All right, put it on the poll here, Guillermo, and this is a good question. It's a tough question as well. What is more impressive? That Tom Cruise is doing his own stunt where he is falling off of a motorcycle from the sky between two mountains, or the fact that approaching 60 during a pandemic, while none of these places are filming, he has found a place to continue his very lucrative franchise. Which is the more impressive of those two things? He's damn near 60, people.
Yeah, politicians are getting in trouble for the side deals that they've cut with Tom Cruise because he's urgently trying to get these two films in the can. And honestly, he bought himself maybe 2 weeks because all productions have sort of resumed. I saw Robert Pattinson, who's filming The Batman, stop production because he caught the coronavirus the first day back.
We will get to this, Suey, in a second, but I want to begin it, Stugotz, by looking up during the break college football coaches who are Tom Cruise's age. And I want you to imagine them falling from a motorcycle from the sky between two mountains.
Napa know-how. At Napa, you can get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $26.99. An incredible oil for an unbeatable price from the best car people around. Making this deal the best of the best of the best of the best of the best deals around. That's Mobil 1, only $26.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/20.
So here it is, another Suey.
And now the Suey nominees for Best Dismissal. Baron Davis dismisses Chris Cody.
Baron, I have a few creative ideas I want to pitch to you. I imagine being an entrepreneur like you are, a businessman, you get pitched ideas. But before I pitch my ideas, what's the worst business opportunity you've ever been pitched?
Are you new?
I'm a little new. Yeah.
You haven't heard from Chris? Okay, yes, that's Chris Cody, son of Greg Cody, a gratuitous nepotism hire.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't doing the privilege thing right now. We gotta have somebody else ask a question.
Roy, you want to have at it? Go ahead, Roy.
What was the worst pitch you have ever received?
Who is this kid, man, asking me questions like that? And then you got me in this Zoom.
Yeah.
Before I was on the radio, I couldn't see you. Now I can see this kid. This kid ain't got no facial hair, man. Oh, yeah, you do. It's red. He got a red beard.
Diana Rossini dismisses Lazy Rivers.
You don't fight the lazy river. Do you love a lazy river, Diana?
I hate lazy rivers.
What?
Why?
Wait, what? What?
I think they're kind of gross. I feel like I'm just taking a bath with a bunch of people that I don't know.
Billy Gill and Stugotz dismiss Bill James.
I'm totally good with Bill James just telling us who should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's the problem. That's really the problem. Is too many people are too good with Bill James deciding what should go on in baseball. All right, Bill James, you're not baseball god. Go away. Enough of these stats.
Wow.
Everything is a stat with Bill James.
But he was.
I'm telling you, you can't get a yes and no from him. You just get ones and zeros. The guy speaks in binary code.
Why would you be okay with Bill James deciding who gets to the Hall of Fame?
Because he's going
Who's Bill James?
He's the mathematician who was at the front of all the advanced metrics in sports before years.
Listen,
decades before others.
If this is the Calculus Hall of Fame, Bill James is welcome to tell me who can get in and who can, who was the best with protractors and all that stuff. Let me see who swings the bat the way I like the bat swung, and I'll tell you who I think should get in the Hall of Fame.
Billy Gill dismisses people for playing musical instruments on their balconies during a quarantine.
Have you noticed while this is going on that everyone who's ever owned an instrument has decided that the entire world wants to hear them play their instrument on their balcony? Like, enough already with playing your instruments. All right, I saw someone playing a harp on Only in Dade. People take their drums out. Like, at a certain point, your neighbors don't want to hear you playing music, okay? Like, you're not soothing anyone's soul. You're not making this better for anyone. What you're doing is you're just adding annoying noise to what is already an annoying situation. If you have an instrument, do not go outside and start playing the instrument because you're not bringing anyone together. You're tearing everyone apart because you're a horrible musician and no one wants to hear you. Am I the only one that feels this way?
Chris Cody dismisses Carson Palmer.
This is rich coming from him. Pun intended. First of all, there's two ways he's coming at this. Be a team guy. Oh, be a team guy, Carson Palmer? Didn't you quit on your team? That's number one. Money. Take less money to make your team better. Carson Palmer's the 10th highest NFL player ever. I mean, come on. Take less money. You take less money. I didn't. You take less money. Make your team better. The team I quit on.
Right.
Out of here, Carson Palmer.
Wow.
I love it.
Dan dismisses Billy Gill for not getting to the thing.
Billy, what do you think here about, you just think the Astros should shut up, all of
He
them?
needs to shut up. They all need to shut up. Here's the thing about the Astros,
Oh,
Dan.
no.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing about the Astros, Dan.
You mentioned that already.
I know, but then I was interrupted. Here's
What's
the thing
the
about
thing?
the Astros,
Yeah.
Dan.
Oh, no.
All right, go ahead and sit outside.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead and just leave right now for 2 minutes.
Wow.
We'll get to your thoughts later.
I wanted to hear his baseball thoughts.
I mean, get to the thing or don't get to the thing, or get the hell out of here. Let me hear the Correa sound. The Correa sound. No, if he's going to do that to me with "here's the thing"
He was
3 times,
interrupted.
get the hell out of here.
He was interrupted.
I like that, though. If you don't get to the thing, get the hell out of here.
I mean, just get to the thing. Quit telling me here's the thing. Just tell me the thing.
Jeff Van Gundy dismisses Kale.
Kale stinks. I had kale in a salad once because somebody told me it was good. It's awful.
Michael Doliak dismisses coming back on our show tomorrow.
Oh man, that was decent, but the two previous were by far the best.
Right. I mean, I think maybe leave it alone and don't go to Drew.
All right, you're right. I'll leave it alone. Michael, thank you. We'll do it again with you tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow?
Pay that man his money.
aggressively. Anyone has ever asked the question tomorrow. He is so done with
that
us.
ends the chapter. And it's the best answer to that.
I've never heard tomorrow said that aggressively as a question.
It's a stutter of confusion.
I need to hear it again. Mike Ryan dismisses shoe expert Twitter guy.
So Mike Ryan, a person here who is the senior athletic and outdoor footwear editor at FN Sneaker Size 12, would like a word with you when he writes in, I love the Le Batard Show and what you, Mike Ryan, do, but please, for the love of God, never talk about sneakers again. Every time you do, you're completely wrong.
I almost sent him a picture of my own shoe that I'm wearing right now, which is absolute flames, by the way, with my middle finger on the tongue. Let me tell you something, outdoor world. If I want to know about Timbos, I'll come crawling around your neighborhood. Until then, why don't you mind your own damn business?
Attaboy.
Mina Kimes and Dominique Foxworth dismiss cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe, the worst fruit.
What?
Everybody agrees with that, right?
I mean, it's the filler for a fruit
Right?
salad.
Exactly.
That's what they put in there to fill up. They don't give you the strawberries or the grapes.
Stugotz dismisses Andre Iguodala as Finals MVP with the Warriors.
In a series that featured LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, he was voted the best player.
Right. That team wins nothing if they don't have Andre Iguodala. Okay.
That's
quite accurate. In
it's really not.
They need, but you don't know what you're saying, though. You're saying
but you guys with your beliefs and all this. Iguodala does not get to the NBA Finals and have a chance to be the Finals MVP if he doesn't latch on to that team. That's all I'm saying.
What are you laughing about, Billy?
You guys with your beliefs.
This thing, Iguodala, he's the reason they won the title. You know good well he's not the reason they won a title, please.
I'm not saying that voters who vote on the Finals MVP said that.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay, well, I'd like to, yes, it's one of the many moves in the Stugotz arsenal.
Billy Gill infuriates Dan for not answering his question.
Do you want to share with us, Billy, why you and Mina are giggling maniacally off air? Again, you guys do a better show off air than you do on air. I wish we had any of this laughter or any of this fun happening on air. Do you want to share it, or are you going to leave me hanging out here and just say, no, Dan, let's keep it moving, not for air?
Just two cats fighting over the litter box, Dan, you know what I mean?
So here is a tweet from Will Manso, the Heat broadcaster. You have been exasperating today. You really have. You guys get paid for what we do on air. You guys get paid for that. Being funny off air while entertaining to you guys doesn't help our audience or our company.
Dan, I was going to ask you in the first segment when we were doing all the cat talk, that we're doing straight talk now, but cat talk earlier, you said that I'm the weak links. Was that on purpose?
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I'm pretty sure he was kidding around.
Stugotz dismisses Bill O'Brien for potentially trading Deshaun Watson to the Patriots.
That's who the Patriots are going to replace Tom Brady with. They're going to get a 25-year-old Deshaun Watson. And who's running the Texans? Who is running the Texans? What if they want to fire Bill O'Brien? Is anyone there to do it? Can anyone do it? And what is he doing? Hopkins 1 week and Watson the next week. The guy, the best wide receiver and youngest wide receiver quarterback tandem in the entire NFL. And trade them all away for peanuts. I said peanuts.
Stugotz dismisses Ken Burns for being critical of the Last Dance Michael Jordan docuseries.
I don't want to hear from Ken Burns, and I don't want Ken Burns to rain on my parade, which is every Sunday night for 2 hours. I feel normal again. Ken Burns, do me a favor. Zip it up. And by the way, most famous documentarian, I never heard of Ken Burns till today. Ever. So I would say it's Jason Hare, the guy who did the Jordan documentary. How about that?
Stugotz dismisses sports for not knowing whether to come back or not.
Do me a favor, sports. Sit down, sit with the doctors, sit with the scientists, sit with your players, figure it out from all angles, and then get back to me. Stop teasing me that you're going to come back, and then there's some other issue that might prevent you from coming back. I don't care anymore. I care about when you're going to come back, and if you come back, that you're going to be healthy and it's going to be the same product that I have seen my entire life. I am tired of sports. All you sit down, figure it out, and figure out the right time to come back. Because I'm telling you, I am not certain that we should be playing any sports for at least a year.
There it is.
But I want it.
There it is.
I want it worse than anything.
Ponte los patines. Time for some ads.
Weird year, man. I mean,
Hey, it's your homie. Sorry, it's your home. I know you don't like it when I call myself your homie. So I have some favors to ask you. Could you get rid of a few chairs in the living room? My floorboards are tired. Another easy thing, we could save money if you bundled your home and car insurance with Geico. One more thing. I know you love lavender-scented candles, but could we try Tahitian vanilla? I think it would fit my vibe better.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
All right, my apologies to the audience that there is no segment here. They've just weighed us down with goop. So if you want to hear us complain about it, you could do so in the post-game show. We've got 2 minutes to do something here, but let's go first and foremost to Christine Lisi because we've been trying to get to her for 20 minutes.
And finally, a man whose father gave him a bottle of 18-year-old whiskey every year for his birthday has sold the 28-bottle collection and paid for a new house with the money he received. So congrats to the man on his new house, and congrats apparently to Dan on buying a week's worth of whiskey.
Stop! Get out of here! I can be fat or a drunk. I will not be both with you. We have a sponsored thing. Of course we do. Funniest thing from the sports weekend. What do you have to read here, Stugotz?
Yep, funniest thing from the sports weekend is brought to you by Dell. Dell just announced their Labor Day sale. Save up to 50% on powerful business computers with Intel Core processors that will keep you ahead of the competition. Call 877 Ask Dell. We will do that in the postgame.
In the postgame show, we will do the funniest thing from the sports weekend, and we also have to get to some amazing Nicolas Cage sound. But before we do that, Chris, it's not really the Sueys until the internet starts complaining that you missed something. The Tony dismissal.
Bomani, Tony. I'm enough. I love the Sueys and I hate the Sueys, all for this reason.
I mean, Chris, that was probably one of the best dismissals the entire year, and you obviously leave it out. It's disgusting.
It is, I mean, who the hell is Tony? It's a big omission.
Chris, I got you. That's actually a nominee for next year.
Yes.
Missed the cutoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
In doing so, he also totally dismissed Tony, so isn't that just as much of an honor?
Sort of. Yes. Thank you, Billy. I wish I could send you straight into multiple oceans. Here is Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, courtesy Variety YouTube. Mike Ryan says this is amazing Nicolas Cage sound, Stugotz.
Yeah, he's confronted about what many people think is his over-the-top acting style.
Okay.
How do you amp yourself up for scenes like that? Or is, what does the term over the top even register?
You show me where the top is, and I'll let you know whether I'm over it or not, all right? I design where the top is. Brian could speak more to this than I can. He knows how spiritual acting is for me. I don't even like the word acting anymore. I don't, because it implies lying in some way. I don't act. I feel and I imagine and I channel.
Of course he does.
I design where the top is.
Yes, he does. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Levitard Show when you return from the multiple oceans. Does Nicolas Cage decide where the top is?
We started the show by saying people that you could mistake it sports for Ed McMahon only from behind.
Yes.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson.
We never got to calls. Mike Ryan said the calls were all terrible. So if you want to go ahead and do this for tomorrow, we will start this again tomorrow. People who could be mistaken for Ed McMahon from behind in sports or out of sports.
First call I got was Andy Reid. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It's just fat jokes. It's just join us on this post-game show, okay? It'll be better than those farted 3 minutes.
We can all agree that this isn't your standard summer. But even though we're staying at home, we can still find time to enjoy the sunshine safely and socially distant, of course. That's where Allbirds comes in. Whether you're out with your family on a hike or grinding out that exercise routine at home, Allbirds has the perfect shoe for you. Allbirds shoes are made from premium natural materials and are beyond comfortable. The Tree Dasher, for instance, is light, durable,
breathable, and designed for maximum energy return. Perfect for long walks or quick runs around the neighborhood. Allbirds shoes are also carbon neutral, thanks to sustainable practices like offsetting their carbon emissions. They list the carbon footprint on all of their products, just like nutrition labels on food, but for your closet. Their average carbon footprint per product is equal to running 5 dryer loads or driving 19 miles in a car before it's offset to zero. They're committed to lowering their impact over time and creating a more sustainable future for everyone. With Allbirds, feel confident knowing you're wearing a product that's doing right by your feet and the planet. Learn more about their sustainable practices and find your pair at allbirds.com today. At allbirds.com today.